January 17th, 1995, just before dawn, the great Hanshin-Awaji earthquake struck southern Hyogo Prefecture. Its magnitude was 7.3. 6,434 people were killed and 43,792 injured. This catastrophe left terrible scars on the city and on people's hearts. The memories remain as vivid as if it happened only yesterday. These are the words of a girl who was in second grade at the time. Whenever there's a disaster somewhere in the world, it's always remembered in statistics. But I don't think the statistics are important. What's important are the lessons learned from it. Rather than the statistics, it's the lessons that should be taught to succeeding generations, and through those lessons, the ability to prevent disasters. The global population currently stands at around 6.5 billion. We live in different countries, have different skin colors, and speak different languages. But one thing we all share is that we live on the same planet. The planet provides us with so much: air, water, food, our homes, of course, and our clothes. Everything originates from the planet's resources. But the planet can also rob us of people and things that are important to us. This happens in natural disasters. Earthquakes and tsunamis, typhoons, droughts and floods, volcanic eruptions. No one knows when these will occur. Houses and schools are destroyed. Precious lives are lost that can never be recovered. But if we were prepared before such things happen, if everyone spent a little time thinking about it, lives might be saved that would otherwise be lost. Natural Disaster Youth Summits, NDYS, are held to utilize the power of communication through networking, to think about what each of us can do individually to be ready in case a disaster strikes. And if some catastrophe occurs, to reduce its harmful impact through people's knowledge, efforts, and mutual assistance. The first Natural Disaster Youth Summit was held in 2005 to create an opportunity to pass on the lessons learned from the great Hanshin-Awaji earthquake to more and more people. The next was in Taiwan in 2006, followed by Aichi, Japan in 2007. In this way, the message is spreading far and wide. About 100 years ago, the island of Simalua in Indonesia was hit by a tsunami. The tsunami caused a lot of death and destruction. Afterwards, the islanders made up a little tsunami song. If there's an earthquake and the tide suddenly goes out, run away fast because a tsunami is coming. Succeeding generations have learned it. Then came December 2004 and an enormous earthquake off the coast of Sumatra in Indonesia. The tsunami created by this earthquake reached India, Thailand, Sri Lanka, and many other countries besides Indonesia, and a great many people lost their lives. Simalua Island was of course also affected, but the islanders noticed the tide go out after the earthquake. They called out to one another, escaping to high ground, and many lives were saved. If only Simalua Island's tsunami song had been spread to all those countries affected by the tsunami, many of those lives lost would have been saved. That's right. With more communication, lives can be saved. We learned many things after the great Hanshin-Iwaji earthquake. Each person discovered so much from the earthquake and the recovery. All this must not be forgotten, but must be passed on to as many people as possible. This is very important. The Internet reaches all around the globe, and NDYS uses it to hold teleconferences. By using the Internet, we can talk to people in countries throughout the world and even see their faces. Places next to the sea, surrounded by mountains, and even in the desert. There are all sorts of places in the world. The lessons they have learned from natural disasters and their know-how on preventing a catastrophe are completely new to us. Information we get through this sort of communication can help to save lives. We spread it around the world to prepare for natural disasters. And NDYS hopes that the friendships that develop out of this project will eventually link the whole world. So what can we do now in readiness for a natural disaster? At Yanagi Elementary School in Nagoya, Aichi Prefecture, children are working on a disaster safety map, which is one NDYS activity. They check out for themselves the neighborhood in which they live and think about what they should do if something were to happen. On their way home from school, which roads are safest? Are there places where there may be landslides? Are there places where the river might flood? Where should they go to be safe? And how should they contact their families? Making a disaster safety map expands their understanding. And by talking together, they think about how to minimize dangers using their combined skills. In this way, they completed a disaster safety map. This activity is today being carried out in countries around the world.
We printed the map from LCD and then we copied and started painting on it.
On next stage, we got the layout design of school and made a digital map of it by AutoCAD software. Then we present all of this in a conference held in Taiwan.
Argentina, Russia, America, Iran, Taiwan. Children all over the world are making their own disaster safety maps. And the things that children discover through making their disaster safety maps, they discuss with others by teleconferencing. This leads to new discoveries and further lessons to be learned. Disaster safety maps are made by individuals all over the world. If we link them all up, then one day we'll have a global disaster safety map that will bring the whole world together. We can achieve very little as individuals, but we can combine our skills to think together. We can talk to people around the planet, combining our skills and learning many new things. By extending communication throughout the world in this way, people's lives can be saved. So let's start right now. Start from the things each of us can do individually, so that the planet will always be a happy place.